Hi, my name is Amanda Batek and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Mississauga, Ontario. It's almost time for Saleabration, which starts on January 4th. What is Saleabration? At Stampin' Up, that means that for every $60 or $120 you spend, you can choose a free exclusive item. This could be a stamp set, it could be a set of dies, designer series paper, embellishment, ribbons. There's so much to choose from and it's very exciting. To get things started, I have partnered with two other fabulous demonstrators, Jennifer Diverty and Genevieve Coe, and we will each be featuring and showing you one bundle from the new mini catalog, as well as featuring one Saleabration set to give you some ideas and show you how to make additional cards. So I hope you're excited. From January 4th to January 8th, we all have an ordering incentive to get things started. And what that means is if you place an order with us, you will receive at $60, not only will you get your free Saleabration item from Stampin' Up, but you will also receive a tutorial of 3 cards from us. And if you spend $120, you will get your Saleabration items, plus the tutorials, plus a free pack of dimensionals. So I will be featuring the Ice Cream Swirl stamp set, and let's get started. Please see the video description for more details on the ordering special that Genevieve, Jennifer, and I are sharing with you. So I will be showing you how to use the Ice Cream Swirl stamp set and coordinating dies. These can be found in the new mini catalog, and you can also find this online. And actually the cover has a picture of the Ice Cream Swirl stamp set that I'll be using today. And this is the Saleabration catalog, which has all the free items that you can earn with every $60 increment that you spend. So let's have a look at the Ice Cream Swirl stamp set. Here's the stamp set on its own. It's got a cone and a nice big soft ice cream swirl. It has some coordinating fruit and food items. So you've got a donut, strawberry, cherry, some sprinkles, and a few coordinating sentiments, plus this straw, which can also be used for a bowl. There are a number of dies that come with it, and there's some more innovative ones. So this is for the ice cream cone, and it actually is a double, it's a double die to create, so that you can create kind of a mini card with it. You can use the stamp set with it, or you can use this additional die if you wish, which creates sort of a textured impression on your ice cream cone, which is kind of fun. There are dies for the donut, the strawberry, the straw. This is an additional paper cone, the cherry. You can create confetti sprinkles, and then 2 dies for the ice cream swirl, which can be used together or independently. So lots of dies to use, or you can stick with the stamp set, but they work beautifully together. In addition, later on, I'll be showing you the Watercolor Melon stamp set. I've always enjoyed food stamp sets. So here is a project sheet, or a little kind of tour that I created for the Ice Cream Swirl Bundle to show you different ways that you can use it, and some various sizes. So the bundle, if you get both the stamp set and dies, is $72.75. And that includes the 12 stamps plus 10 dies. So I've stamped all the different sentiments here in 2 colors. And so they work beautifully with the, with the sweet theme of the set. Here I've stamped and die cut the various images that coordinate. Here is the confetti, so I just showed the negative here. You can either like glue on the individuals, or you can use them in a shaker card or something like that if you wish. Here is a die cut of sort of a paper piece that you could put on your cone if you wished. And here's some different ways that you can use the ice cream. This one I did paper piecing. So I put back the insets onto a different color coordinating item. You can stamp and color simply if you wish. I enjoy rainbows, so I did a rainbow. And then you can, here I did sort of a chocolate and vanilla themed one. As I mentioned, the cone, the die is actually one large one, so it'll cut out like this. And so you can create kind of a little mini card or tag, as I did here. So you can use it like that, or you can cut it off at the halfway mark. And here I showed it with the textured piece. Finally, if you wish to turn your cone into a bowl for ice cream, you can do that too, and simply just cut it off below this, well, wherever you think, but could be below this little extra bulge there, and you've got a bowl for your ice cream, which is kind of fun. All right. I suppose you could use this too, although I felt it was a bit out of proportion. So these are some different, this gives you a sense of lots of coloring potential with the different elements, or you can kind of stick with the dies. It depends on what sort of mood you're in. All right, so if you were to buy this bundle, for sure, you would receive a single Saleabration item to go with it. And I'll show you later on some sets that would coordinate nicely with it. All right, so this is the card that I'm going to be demonstrating today. And it's fairly simple, but I have a little trick to show you on how to make it so nice and shiny. All right, so I'll just put my card here and I'll show you how to make it very quickly. So we'll start off with a card base, and it's your standard 5.5 by 8.5 inch, and it's scored at 4 1/4. All right, and I've chosen to use Bubble Bath because I quite like Bubble Bath with the Early Espresso ink or Early Espresso color. So I've got a matte that's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 matte, and then on top of that I will put a another white matte, which is going to be our background in basic white. And that's going to form our card front. And this one is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So I'm going to add some pink Bubble Bath glow to the back of my card. So to use that, we use a blending brush and the Bubble Bath ink. Now these brushes are super soft. They remind me kind of a rabbit. That's how soft they are. So you just kind of pick up some ink onto there, tap off a bit so that you don't get any harsh lines, and you just start swirling. Now the ice cream is quite large, and so we don't need to cover up too much of the background, but I find it takes away a bit of the starkness. And again, we just keep kind of going around and around until we get to a point where we're happy with the glow that we have. And I think that looks pretty good. Again, it's just to take some of the starkness away. And there we go. All right. So again, a blending brush with Bubble Bath ink. I'm going to stamp my sentiment now. So I chose to use Early Espresso and Make-A-Wish. It fits nicely there. Here's my Early Espresso ink and the Make-A-Wish stamp, which comes with the set. And I'm just going to stamp it in the lower right-hand corner. Of course, you could always make a tag or whatever, but I chose to stay kind of just really, really clean and simple for this card. All right, so I will assemble this quickly. Use your adhesive of choice. I like green glue because it allows, gives me a bit of wiggle room, especially when I have tight borders like this. And if you wanted, you could cut out the center of the back of the card if you wanted. No one would ever know. All right. So now we will make our ice cream cone. So I will do the cone first, and piece that, so I chose to use pecan pie, but you can mix it up. And the piece of cardstock I'm using is 2.5 by 3.25. So you can choose to stamp your image, or you could use that textured piece of die from the stamp set. Well, it's not really a die, but anyways. So we'll just stamp, but today I'm just going to stamp the cone onto there. And you can see it's got a nice cross hatching. And then if you want to make it look more waffle cone-ish, one thing you can do is take a lighter color. So for example, crumb cake, and I'm going to use a sponge dauber. And you can just add a tiny bit of color to the cone to give it a bit of an uneven color. And it doesn't have to be, you know, super precise. Could be around the edges if you want to make it not burnt, but a bit uneven. And I think the sponge daubers do a nice job of that. All right. So we will die cut that out in a minute. So I've opted, so of course you could do this in whatever colors you wanted, but I've opted to use Very Vanilla and Early Espresso for the chocolate layer. So this one is 3 by 3.25, and same thing with my Very Vanilla layer. So for the chocolate layer, I'm going to show you two things. One is I recommend that you use an adhesive sheet to go on here. Oh, I made it a bit too big. That's fine. So the reason is because some of these lines are fairly fine. And so an adhesive sheet means that we're not going to, you certainly can just use glue, which I've done many times. But the adhesive sheet should make it a little bit easier. So on the back of my Early Espresso layer, I'm putting an adhesive sheet, which is going to help me later on. And then here's the little trick that I'm going to show you. And that is to use packing tape. And that is what is going to give this amazing glossy look. So you can see the Early Espresso here is very matte because I haven't done anything to it yet, and we're going to give it this glossy look. So the way you do that is just by simply applying packing tape over the cardstock before you die cut it. Now my packing tape is 2 inches wide, and the die is slightly more than that. So I have to add a second piece. So I'm trying to line up the edge. And I will be careful when I put my die down as to where that is to try to minimize where the seam is. All right. All right. So we have 3 things to die cut. So I'm going to, on the outline, I'm going to do the Very Vanilla. That's the largest one. And this one actually fits inside. So you can actually cut these two together if that's what you were looking for. But in this case, I just want the Very Vanilla as the background. I'm going to use the swirly piece there. And I'm going to need the ice cream cone. So you probably can't see the line, but there's a seam there of the tape. And so I'm going to try to minimize where that lands when I arrange this. If I had packing tape that was a little bigger, if I had 2.5 inch packing tape, that would have been ideal, but I don't. I think that'll be pretty good. we'll just bring in the cut and emboss machine. And real quickly, I cut these pieces. So we just place it on the platform. So we'll do these two first. Very vanilla. These pieces will pop out. You could save them for something else. There we have a glossy piece of chocolate. So this reminds me of like the chocolate dip cones. All right. And then finally we have the cone. All right. Now we do have this double die. It does have actually a score line, and I'll show you what that's for later. All right. You want to line that up, and then if you have some washi tape or a post-it note or some kind of low tack tape, you can use it just to lock it in there, and then we'll run it through. All right, I'll get that out of the way. And here is our piece. So I did not cut it, and if you can see the score line, it's there. But you could trim it with a pair of scissors, but as it turns out, we're going to cover it up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All right. So we have our glossy piece with our adhesive sheet on the back. So we can use take our pick tool to pry off the adhesive back. There we go. And really, with this ice cream set, the sky's the limit in terms of your imagination and the flavors. So I've stayed pretty conventional with most of mine, with chocolate and vanilla, but and strawberry ice cream is one of my favorite flavors. So I tended to use a lot of pinks to represent strawberry ice cream. But certainly you can go from there. So like I said, this is gonna kind of come down over it anyway, so I could trim that, but I really don't see the point. So I could either put the glue on the back of my ice cream, or I can put it onto the cone. So that should be plenty. We'll just tack that down. Give it a few seconds to dry. Hopefully, this is a big image, and so you have to be cognizant of where it's going to go on your card. Yes, so I could even slip it down a little more if I wanted to, but I think that'll work. Here's our sample. I'll bring it back. All right, so I could either use dimensionals to put this down or just glue. I think I'm just going to use glue today, but dimensionals would be fine as well. You can decide how far over you like it. And again, we've got a little bit of the pink shading in the background from our blending brush, which makes it a lot less stark. And finally, just a little bedazzlement. So I'm going to use the iridescent foil gems, which are new. They have like tiny little bits of glitter in them. And they're very neutral, which is what I like about them. So I'm going to add a few to my card. My take your pick tool makes it easy to pick them up. Rule of 3, odd numbers, and I'll put one over here. 1, 2, 3. One of mine jumped off this card earlier, so we'll add that back. And there we have it. So there is our card. So very simple. The kind of extra bit is the packing tape on the Early Espresso cardstock to make it shiny, which is kind of a nice trick that you can do anytime. All right. So that is our ice cream swirl. I'm going to show you a few other cards that I made with this stamp set. This one is a shaker card. So I stamped a Memento black ink, and then I just, I love rainbows. So I did kind of use blends to create this rainbow ombre color scheme, and I added Wink of Stella, which may be hard to see. I used deckled rectangle dies to cut out the center, and I created a shaker card. So this is the foam strips to pop it up. And then I used the confetti die from the stamp set to create the confetti that goes inside the card. So, I mean, you could put anything in there really, right? If you have other little shaker items or gems or whatever, you can stick in there. And I decided to put rainbow pieces in there. So I just followed the Roy G. Biv idea there. And that's a great way to use up scraps. All right, this is Lemon Lolly for the ice cream cone. It kind of reminds me of those styrofoamy cones that we sometimes have. All right, so a shaker card. This card, I wanted to keep it very simple. This is the new perennial postage dies that I used to create the background for this one. And then this is the confetti stamp. So, and I wanted to show making a bowl. And this paper is actually one of the Saleabration papers from the free Flight and Airy stamp set. So on one side is the birds, and on the back is kind of more neutrals. And so this sort of blue one kind of reminded me of blue pottery, so I used that here. And the little trick that I used is this is the straw, and the straw stamp actually is it's kind of closed on one side and open on the other, which means you can string it together by multiple stamping. So here I stamped it twice, and then I just fussy cut it out. So you could either, you could use the die if you wanted, but then we're going to truncate the cone anyway. And it was very simple to fussy cut. And then this is the top portion of one of the, of a die, stamped and die cut piece of Bubble Bath. I did kind of cut off the lower half. Again, you could fussy cut it if you wanted to. Added a bit of Wink of Stella and a cherry. Yes. All right, so that's that one. This one, I wanted to focus on something other than the ice cream. So this basket, if you will, is the bottom half of the cone. So you should see it there. I heat embossed gold powder onto a very vanilla, and I was trying to create a basket. And then I put a bit of twine around it, and I die cut a whole bunch of cherries and colored them in with different shades of red, including sweet sorbet and cherry cobbler. And just die cut, again, a great use of scraps. And I used this coordinating designer series paper. So the cherries are from the Sunny Days designer series paper, which again is also a Saleabration freebie. So in this Sunny Days, if you were to buy this set, you could order this paper for free. It's got strawberries, which coordinates nicely, and the cherries. So I thought, you know, just a simple strip and a couple circles, and we've got a basket of cherries with Hope Your Day is Sweet, and that's just fussy cut. All right, so pretty simple. Here's another card that I created. Again, I was focusing on not the ice cream elements of it, but this is a single piece of white cardstock, and I used the masking technique to create this bowl of strawberries. So the way that you do that is you create little Post-it note masks, and so you stamp one and then you cover it up with this, and then you stamp the next one, and that protects the foreground, and you just kind of keep stamping away and applying these masks to kind of create your tower of strawberries. The background, I just kept it super simple and stamped the strawberry element, and again, this bowl is kind of the top part of the cone, which again can be just fussy cut. So this one doesn't use any dies. I fussy cut everything and kept it really simple. Of course, Wink of Stella on our strawberries. And then this final card is, it's called a back fold card. So it's a standard 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. And in this case, there's a 1 inch strip that's been removed from here, and you open it like this. All right, so this paper is from the Lighter Than Air Designer Series paper, which is features like hot air balloons, but it's got really playful, colorful colors, and this one would actually be perfect for cutting out the ice cream if you wanted to have like sort of a confetti type look to it. It's got fun colors. So I think that one coordinates nicely with it. And the other paper that coordinates beautifully with this set is the soft shimmer paper. So this is two colors from it. Comes in 5 colors, but these two are the most ice creamy. And I don't know if you can see the dazzle, but it looks fantastic. So I really, really like the soft shimmer colors, and you don't need to do much with this. Like, the background is done. The Make-A-Wish, which we used on our first card, because it's kind of chunky, it's easy just to cut out little rectangles and you're good to go. And this is kind of a fun fold. Not very difficult at all. All right, so those are our 6 samples actually, of the cards that I made, featuring the ice cream. I didn't use the donut yet, but we'll work our way through that. And then I wanted to show you the watermelon set. So somewhere I have the watermelon stamp set. So again, this is free with a $60 order. You get this watermelon watercolor set, and it's got this nice like gradient look to it. So here are 3 cards that I made. So this one, You're So Sweet, I used this new set of dies called the mini alphabet dies, and they're about 3/4 inch tall, and it's a single die that cuts out all the letters at once. And so most of the vowels cut out more than once, which is nice. And so you can either use scraps or you can use a full sheet to cut out the letters that you need. I would recommend adhesive sheets, or you can glue them down, which is what I did here. So here's the watermelon. It's got this nice greenery. And what I did here was I cut out 2 pieces of rind, glued them together, and you get a bit of a 3-dimensional look to it. So that was one watermelon card. This one, I created a little like basket or pallet or I don't know, box that would come in from the field. And I have 3 watermelons there, and I just used scraps to create like a little box look. Emboss the background with the Basics 3D like cross hatching one. And then these shapes are super simple to cut out. This sentiment is from the Thoughtful Moments hybrid embossing folder. So here's another example where you use a brayer to add ink. You've got an embossing folder, and then you have a set of dies. So the way it works is, we'll show it to you later, but you apply ink with a brayer to the raised portion of the sentiment that you want, or you can do all of them at once. You put in the die, you close it up with the paper, you run it through your cut and emboss machine, and out comes these outlined die cut, and it's raised embossed sentiments. So you could do a whole bunch of them in different colors, which is in here I just used red. All right, and then here's my final card. This embossed background is a new one that's comes with a $120 order and a coordinating stamp set. And here I just had like a trail of the leaves and different pieces of watermelon. So the watermelons, they're pretty fun. The sentiment, of course, is from the Ice Cream Swirl set. Hope your day is sweet, which the stamp set doesn't have any sentiment, so you can mix and match. It also works well with the Sweet Citrus stamp set, because you've got enjoy the sweeter things in life. That works well. Or the Share a Milkshake stamp set has Life is Sweeter with You. So that's kind of fun. So lots of, even though it doesn't have sentiments, or just pick a sentiment from any stamp set that you like. And let me say, these images are super easy to fussy cut with scissors. It's very, very simple. The new modern oval punch actually perfectly fits this, the full watermelon. However, I don't own it, and so I just cut it out with scissors, and it looks great. So there's our 3 cards for the watermelon, and we have a number of cards for the ice cream set. So there's lots of possibilities between these two. So just as a wrap up, I appreciate you spending some time with me to have a look at the Ice Cream Bundle, which is a lot of fun, especially the shaker card. And again, between Thursday, January 4th and Monday, January 8th, if you place a $60 order, you will receive a tutorial with 3 cards. One is with the Painted Lavender set by Jennifer Diverty, one for Nature Sweetness by Genevieve Coe, and one for the Ice Cream Swirl set, which I will create, which are all the featured bundles for the 3 of us. And if your order is $120, you will receive the tutorials as a bonus, plus a pack of dimensionals. So in the video description, you will see more details. Thanks so much for watching along with me, and tell me which card that you like best. Again, my name is Amanda Batek, and have a good day.